Good evening. I'm your host, Crunk Relish. Thank you so much for joining me on this very special CircaVision News Network presentation. We'll be taking a little trip down memory lane as we revisit some of our favorite guests that we've had on the program. Thank you, and please enjoy. Good evening, and welcome to another special episode of the program. Tonight, we are joined by the director, producer, and star of the latest documentary, Team Slayer, I Hardly Know Her. This is MAXster Chief. Please, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Don't mind me. I just have my grandfather's ashes right in here. I like to keep them with me. Dude, loved Halo 2.
Now, this is a little known fact, but I did a deep dive on your threads. And is it true that your grandfather was the old man in the Halo 3 advertisement?
You got me. You got me. Yeah, no, that was him. That was him.
That's him right there.
That's him. That's him. That's all of him right here.
Oh, okay.
We scooped every last bit into this thing. They said this thing can only fit on a kitty cat's head, but you can fill it with a lot of ashes if you get really clever with it.
Oh, excellent. Now, a lot of people have had some pretty strong opinions on your, I would say, approach to the last competitive season. What would you have to say to some of your supporters and maybe some of your detractors?
Well, I say, hey, big love mwah, to everyone out there who supports me, and to my detractors, maybe you should unplug everybody else's controller and, win.
Okay.
Try winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that is something that I'm glad that you brought up. Unplugging everyone's controllers was a bit of a loophole, something that they didn't really write into the rule book going into the competitive season. Are you worried that your performance will suffer when they write that into the next season and everyone is allowed to play at the same time?
Well, that's the thing. When you look at the rule book, and nobody took that into account, just think of the litany of things that they're also not taking into account. Like, what if I set the building on fire? Now, we can't use that one because I just set it on camera.
Right.
But there's so many worldly factors that come into play when you're trying to win and not be a loser like they were.
Right.
And so I'm always here to win. Always. My grandfather, clearly a loser, but he used to be a winner.
Right.
Until I showed him who's really boss,
Yeah. Now, is it true that you hired a man on Fiverr to say over a loudspeaker in the venue, betrayal, when you killed him?
I did, but $5 was a little much, so I brought him down to $3.50.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains the foreword in your book to all the fans who didn't know already. So, I gotta ask, what are we looking at for a sequel? Can we expect something at Barnes, maybe Nobles, in the next year or two?
Yeah, you might. I'm working on it right now. It's coming out in 6 months.
That's
but
so soon.
That's very soon.
Wow.
Well, when you're me and you're clearly so far above your failure of a grandfather.
Yeah. What a piece of work he was. Am I right?
You're gonna do better than he always could.
Okay, thank you.
And I see this book absolutely tearing apart every other book that comes out that month, both metaphorically and literally.
Excellent.
Hired a bunch of guys on Fiverr.
Nice. All right. Well, hey, it's a winning strategy. If there's one person who knows about winning strategies, it is you, MAXster Chief. Thank you all for joining us, and keep an eye out at Barnes and/or Noble in 6 months for Killionaire, the story of how he got away with it. Coming up next, a man who's played so much Mass Effect, he only gets it up for Alien.